Hey, it's Brock with Straight Line Delivery. I got trailers on my mind. Had a few questions here lately. And I may have covered this in another video, but I'll go a little bit more in depth and explain what I recommend in a trailer and why. What we normally run for Hotshots is a 40-foot trailer. So it's 35 plus 5. 35 feet of wooden deck, and then 5 feet of fold-up ramp that makes the last 5 feet to the 40 feet. That's metal ramp with mega ramps, so it's pretty much, you might have a 6 or 8 inch space between them. The back of it's dovetailed. The ramps come down, so you actually have 10 foot of angle to pull a vehicle up if you wanted to onto the 35 foot of wood deck. Close the ramps, boom, you got 40 foot of trailer. Okay, so when people ask me what's a good trailer, well, all brands, a lot of brands, I won't say all brands, but different brands or different styles and setups are for different people. And you've got to understand what the user wants and why they would have different trailers. And trailers are just like anything else. You know, there's some that I think are overpriced. I'm sure there's some that just rely on their good name and they make parts that are no better than this other trailer that you could buy for cheaper. I mean, just look at jeans. These are 150 bucks. These are 35 bucks. These feel kind of funny and they're stiff and they're funky. These are comfortable, but they're a little overpriced. The $60 or $70 jeans are fine. They'll do what you want. So there's 3 different type of people who want trailers, 3 different uses for like a 40-foot trailer. One is the classic, and it's been around forever, the farmer. He wants a trailer that he can go buy grain, fertilizer, haul hay, and he wants that trailer to be a tank. So where maybe it should weigh 8,000 pounds, he doesn't care if his weighs 10,000 pounds, 12,000 pounds. He doesn't care because he's going to overload it. He's going to abuse it. He's going to use it 8 times a year. But when he needs it, he needs it. He's never going to go through a scale house. He's going to go 6 miles from his house to go get grain or hay or whatever. And he knows all the cops. He's never going to get an overweight ticket. It's not even on his mind. He could care less. Okay, that's one type of trailer. That's one type of customer. Then you've got the entry-level guy or the lightweight trailer. And there's nothing against this. It's just like when you go buy a camper. You can go get one for $179 a month if you finance one, right? You're going to get the not-so-hot cabinets and the not-so-hot this and that. But for the family that goes camping 5 times a year, what do they care? They're going to be fine with it. The super lightweight 40-foot trailer with ramps is necessary. I know people will say, well, that's a piece of junk and this was a tank, this is a good one. It's just different customers, okay? Somebody who wants to put 2 4x4 Jeeps up on a 40-foot trailer and their camping supplies and go down and go mudding all weekend, well, they don't want this tank that can hold, 30,000 pounds worth of hay and feed. They're never going to put that on there. Why would they want that? They want the lightest trailer they can possibly get. They're going to put 5,000 pounds in this trailer, and you could actually, it's a 25,000 pound GVW trailer. They're never going to have more than 5,000 pounds on it. So they want the lightest, slimmest trailer that they could possibly buy, right? And they're going to use it occasionally. So drum brakes are fine for them. They don't need disc brakes, LED lights, oil bath hubs, which are another story. Those things can be a nightmare. It doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It works better, but it's not necessarily better if you're in a commercial environment. I'll go into a few of these details. What you want is not the lightest trailer, and you don't want that tank that the farmer uses because he's going to overload his. You want something in the middle that's made to handle the weight, but it's not overkill and it's not underkill. What you want are features. Axles and brakes are that is a trailer. Everything else is just wire and some cheap lights. The axles and the brakes are a trailer. That's what a trailer is. So you want, I'd say, Leopard or Dexter on the axles. Good bearings. I like greased bearings. They can't leak out. I throw them away every 6 months, put new ones in. Now brakes. Here's the important thing, is brakes. And I've had a few different conversations with guys who do this, and I've heard some interesting stories. Check this out. I have talked to a guy who had drum brakes, all right? And you can have drum brakes or you can have disc brakes. So drum going out and disc is clamping like this. All right. So in the automotive world, when you have to pass, federal inspection for carrying passengers in a passenger vehicle, everything's going to be made a little bit more precise. So if this is the drum, then the bearing needs to be right here so it's perfect, right? There have been, from the manufacturer, drums that are so out of round. Like if this is the center, the bearing's actually sitting here and it's going whoa, 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 whoa. That's exaggerated, but you know what I mean. So self-adjusting drum brakes. I talked to a guy who had a set go out in one trip because that thing's way over here, and as it comes around, it's rubbing, and then it's way over here, and then it's rubbing, just going down the road. So you wear that amount of material off, and click, it adjusts out. Rub, 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 click, rub. So you're adjusted out. Drum brakes are okay. They don't last anywhere near as long as disc brakes, and LED lights last a lot longer than regular lights. So when people ask me, well, what's a good trailer? Forget about the brands as far as deciding, well, this brand A makes a great such and such trailer, I'm going to buy that. Because maybe they make the best heavy farmer trailer, or maybe they make the best lightweight trailer, but the one in the middle that you're going to be able to pull for 500,000 miles, maybe not so much. So what I would look for is get something with good axles, get something with good brakes. If you can afford air ride, get something with air ride. It will help pay for itself by getting you higher paying loads, and it's not bouncing so much, beating the crap out of the trailer. It's not beating itself up. You want that weight that's right in the middle, right? And a price line. Ask yourself, why does this cost so much? Is it just because it's super heavy duty? Is it because they're relying on their name? What is the cost? What is the curb weight of that trailer? You don't want the lightest, you don't want the heaviest. Get something right in the middle, and then make sure they're using quality axles, and then read some blogs. Get on YouTube, get on Facebook, get on anything. Just Google that trailer. And if you start to see a list of people complaining about stuff, look at what the complaints are. I find that that's the most valuable way to get information from Googling something. If I'm looking at a particular trailer, anything I'm looking for, truck, trailer, whatever, and there's like 15 people with the same exact complaints, you can start to bet that maybe that's the issue. And then you can start to think deeper into it. Is this something they could have caused themselves by neglect? Or is this something that seems like it's from the manufacturer? If you got 15 people saying, I've owned this trailer 6 months, I've used it, twice a day for 6 months, and the bearings are all out of it, the axles are bent, whatever. If everyone's got the same complaint, there's probably something to it. If it's little ticky-tack complaints like, well, I was a little disappointed that the wood deck, that wasn't impressive. The sealer on it wasn't great. Or there was no sealer. Or it was scratched up, or there was a missing screw from the factory. Okay, whatever. What we want are mechanical parts, because the rest of it's just metal and wood. You can replace wood. You can repaint metal. But axles and bearings, if those fail you, you are done, because it's going to take. Sometimes it takes weeks to get a new set that match. So when you get a trailer, whatever trailer you get, figure out what bearings you need, bearings and races, order some right away, have them with your trailer, and you can use that for 6 months. And if you decide, hey, this is for me, I love this as an industry, I'm going to stick with it, you can do your research, talk to people when you're pulled over at the fuel pump, talk to guys, hey, what do you think of this trailer? What do you like, what don't you like? If they'll tell you some things that they don't like, usually you're getting the truth. A lot of people don't want to admit that they've made a mistake and they got screwed. They're like, yeah, I paid full price for this thing, it's a piece of crap, I haven't done much trouble with it. But you can usually pull some information out of people and tell, okay, this guy's telling me he's had a good experience with this trailer. Here's what he likes about it. Here's how long he's had it. You know, start to network like that. As always, if you have any questions, shoot me an email or give me a call. I want to help you make a good decision based on your needs. A brand new trailer may not be for you. You definitely don't want the heaviest, you definitely don't want the lightest. But as far as brands go, there's all sorts of different brands, and each one of them has their strengths and weaknesses. And every trailer has the potential to be a piece of crap because it's a trailer. It's not made to automotive specs. I'll leave my information at the end of the video. Feel free to contact me if you need to. Thanks.